Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's good to see everyone, and welcome back to the Gray Witches Show, or Gray Witchcraft for the Modern Mystic. So today we will be talking about Mercury Retrograde, what Mercury Retrograde does, when it is, hint, right now, and then the zodiac signs that this Mercury retrograde is likely to affect the most. That doesn't mean that it won't affect other zodiac signs, but I just want to give those handful of zodiac signs that it'll affect the most a heads up on what to do and how to get through it. So I just want to recap on, there's a lot going on right now since it's autumn and, in my opinion, the best time of the year. So in 2 days, we will have Mabon, which is the autumn equinox. I have written a blog post on how to celebrate that. So if you don't have any ideas, or you're kind of at a loss of what to do, or if this is the first Mabon that you'll be celebrating, go ahead and head over to the Gray Witches website and check that out under our blog post. And then, since we are heading into, or we are already into Mercury retrograde, right now is a great time to do some, whether you can do a meditation, you can do a spell, but to let go of that negative energy and let go of the energy that no longer serves you. So I would highly suggest doing that for Mabon if that isn't a part of your practice already. It'll not only help during Mercury retrograde, it'll be a fresh start to celebrate Mabon. And yeah, I love doing that in the fall. Just kind of let go of everything for the past year, let go of those negative energies and the things that no longer serve you. So let's jump into Mercury retrograde, how to keep calm, and what to do, how it's going to affect us, right? So can you believe that it's the end of summer already? I mean, I know we talked about fall and autumn last week on our show, but I think that this year has just gone by so fast, and with the upcoming Mabon Sabbat, I'm very excited, but I'm also it's a bittersweet time for me, as my daughter was born 1 year ago on September 25th, and so we'll be celebrating her first birthday. I was actually due on Mabon last year, and she came a little bit late, but we'll be celebrating her first birthday on Saturday and Sunday this weekend, and I just can't believe how fast this year has gone, and quite frankly, how fast the summer has gone. So September I look at September as a fall month, right? I look at it as like September 1st, yay, we're in autumn. But it truly is a very high energied transitional month. September prepares us for the arrival of autumn here in the Northern Hemisphere. And we, prepare for that arrival, and then mid-September is when autumn comes. We're under the sun sign Virgo, which is a very analytical sign that focuses its energy on perfecting, or I'll say fine-tuning, our life processes. It prepares us for the season to come, right, or what's upcoming. If summer has, now that we have kind of like summer fun, that we've kind of been through, Virgo's hyper awareness will help us find a healthier connection between mind, body, and spirit if we didn't already have that. This energy will especially be felt on, or it was especially felt on the full moon, which was full moon in Pisces, which was back on September 10th. And relationships will be really the top important topic during this month, as Mercury retrograde begins to retrograde into Libra, which is the sign of relationships. So, and which is also my daughter's sign. So September 9th is when Mercury went retrograde, and to September 22nd, which is Mabon, Mercury will have us evaluate and give and take within our most important bonds, right? We're figuring out, does this work? Is this what I want in this relationship? And we're evaluating that from this time. So since September 9th, if you've been really struggling and reevaluating what is the best for you, I would say Mercury retrograde has a part in that, right? And so now as we're kind of coming to an end in that, while there will be problems and misunderstandings, they'll be very intense. There's a real possibility that things, or you've already felt this, that things will be blown out of proportion, whether that's an argument or communication at work, an argument with friends or family. It seems like it's bigger than maybe it should be. And that is, that has something to do with Mercury retrograde. So so obviously Mercury retrograde is in full swing. It kicked off on September 9th. It goes on until October 2nd. And so it really asks us to review our own trajectory and clarify our decisions, right? To be very clear in what happens next. So while everyone is likely to feel its effects in some way, I know I have, the zodiac signs most affected by Mercury retrograde, we'll go over 4 of them, and they'll be facing more, I'll say, the most intense obstacles. So the signs that will be most affected by Mercury retrograde are Aries, Virgo, Capricorn, and you guessed it, Libra. So, and I just want to give, so I'm a Gemini, and I just want to give an example of, I have 2 examples of what happened during Mercury retrograde during this time of kind of transitional energy. And the first one, if you are on my newsletter list, you typically get a newsletter, an update, and a oracle reading or a tarot reading. We call it Mystic Wednesday. You usually get that on Wednesday morning, right? Around 10 a.m. Central. And last Wednesday, you did not get a newsletter or an email. And that was because we changed our email provider. So we went from one software to another to kind of help organize our customers better. And I swore I scheduled it. I typed everything out, and Wednesday came and went, and I was like, man, I haven't really heard from anyone on the newsletter, or what they have seen. Kind of usually I get replies to the newsletter of like, hey, thanks for the reading, and replies to what's in the newsletter. So I went and looked, and I didn't look on Wednesday. I went and looked on Thursday when I was in the website ready to post the blog article, and I was like, nobody got a newsletter. And so I had scheduled it in draft and then just not pushed schedule. So that is a very large example of a miscommunication. And I would like to blame Mercury retrograde for that. So the other one I can't really blame on Mercury retrograde, but I do want to tell you it because hopefully it'll make you laugh as hard as I did. I recently picked up a desk to put in our office area, and I am rearranging some things in that office, and I needed a desk so that I could set up a new altar. And so I scoured Facebook Marketplace. My niece actually helped me find this perfect, beautiful desk that has on the legs of the desk, it has this gorgeous like ram carving on it. It could not be more perfect for a witchy space, an altar. I mean, it's phenomenal. That is not what the lady used it for, by the way. She used it just as a desk and a credenza, but I just thought it was perfect. So anyway, so we negotiate the price. I'm like, yay, I'm on my way. I'll get it tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. I stopped at the ATM and got cash because she wanted cash and didn't want to do Zelle or Venmo. And I get there and I started to get really nervous about like, I don't think I'm at the right house. You know, like, I don't know if you ever shop on Facebook Marketplace, but I always have this like weird anxiety about if I walk up to if I walk up to the wrong house and I'm just like, hi, I'm here to buy something, and it's not going to be the right house. Anyway, so I know it's pretty irrational fear, but that was my fear. So I get out of my car, I parked right in front of the house, and I'm like, I start getting anxious, right? Like, oh, okay, this probably isn't the right house. Like, I need to look at it. Meanwhile, this is a gorgeous home. I mean, it's in a very nice neighborhood, a very nice subdivision, like almost gated community gorgeous. And I get out of my car. I'm like, okay, I'm going to check the address on Messenger to make sure that I'm walking up to the right house, right? So I start walking up the driveway, and I'm in Texas. So in most of the homes here in Texas, they have garages in the back. So you just have like a walkway to your front door, and the garage is in the back, so of the alley. So you're not walking up to the garage, you're walking up straight to the front door. And I get out my phone, right? And I'm like, okay, I got to check the address. And y'all, I tripped because I did not see that there was a cement stair in front of me, or like a brick covered stair. And I just ate it. I mean, I fell so hard and so fast. I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world happened? I'm still holding on to my cell phone. I tripped because I didn't see the step, because I was looking to make sure I was at the right address. And I look up and I'm like, oh no. So it's the right address, but she has a Ring doorbell. So after I picked up the desk, I got back in my car and saw that my pants were ripped because I ripped them. My knee was bleeding. There was like grass all over my hand that I was like wiping off onto my pants before I hit the doorbell to like say, hi, I'm here to pick up the desk. There's a you could still see it. I don't know if you could see it on the picture, but my pinky got like smashed and was dented. I mean, this was a disaster. And all I can think is like how funny that must look on that lady's Ring doorbell. Like, I almost messaged her to ask if I could have a copy, but then I thought she might think I want to sue her or something. So I was like, okay, I won't do that. But not that is very much related to Mercury retrograde, but that's like that transitional energy of like like our head, your mind, and your heart might not be in one. Again, I'm stretching it a little bit, but also I hope that you get to laugh at that story, because I still think back and laugh at myself of like, oh my gosh. So I get in the car and I drive home and I call my husband. I'm like, hey, I fell. He's like, what? And he was going to come with me, but we thought it might be too much of a hassle to like get the baby in the car and then take her out. And so I just went by myself and loaded the desk up. And then he was just like, oh my gosh, I should have came with you. So anyway, my knee, this is almost 2 weeks ago now, my knee is almost healed. I had to throw away those jeans because they're ripped, so I need a new pair of jeans. Yeah, so I've had a really great Mercury retrograde. And I'm a Gemini, so, and then there's just been some miscommunications, whether that's work or, so you just want to make sure that you're more clear and more concise than usual. So, as always, back to Mercury retrograde. So as always, the retrograde periods can cloud our thinking, increase our chances of misunderstanding. And so it's very helpful to be very cautious about communicating as clearly as possible and double, triple checking the details of any logistical issues or plans, things like that. It's important to take time to really think calmly about all of the decisions before finalizing a decision at the time, especially given that Mercury retrograde will face Jupiter, which is the planet of growth and expansion. So Jupiter has the power to magnify literally everything it touches. So while this connection can bring a lot of amazing, exciting ideas, it can also make us a little too jealous if we're starting new things at one time, or sorry, too zealous, not jealous, too zealous, if we're starting too many things at one time, right? And then we will peter out on that energy and not be able to complete those things because we're juggling too much. And so you really want to take the time when that cosmic energy wants, with all of that energy, the cosmic energy is telling you, slow down, take that time to take a deep breath and think about those decisions before you just boom, act on them. So if you happen, again, this can affect more than these 4 zodiac signs, but I want to touch base a little bit on those signs of, I believe that these signs will be most affected during the Mercury retrograde and, until October 2nd. And so, you just want to take a little bit more time to navigate retrograde, be a little bit more cautious than normal, and navigate your day-to-day if you are one of these signs. So we will cover Aries first. This retrograde spends most of its time in your partnership's house, Aries, which means you are more likely, to encounter some obstacles in relationships or confusing communication problems with your closest friends. So whether that, hey, we made plans for Tuesday, and then your friend's like, wait, I thought we made plans for Thursday, and then they fall through. You just want to take that extra time to make sure that everyone's on the same page. Old disagreements with a partner or spouse may suddenly reemerge and require further discussion and dissection to get back onto the same track of what you were. And then, of course, that definitely offers an opportunity to reconnect or to regain some closure. So you could look at that in a good way if you're prepared for it, right? And I think that that's one of the most important things about Mercury retrograde is if you're prepared for it and going in like, okay, this month I'm just going to have to take more time to communicate. And I definitely have been feeling that at work. And so just taking the time, take a deep breath, and be prepared, right? Also, Aries, you want to be extremely cautious about any impulsive behaviors or decisions that you'll be making. Just keep an eye out for that. Overreacting in retrograde, during incidents around right now is, since the peak of Mercury's opposition to the largest planet Jupiter is in your sign right now, that's at its peak from, I believe it was September 18th to the 22nd or 23rd. So you just want to make sure that you're taking the time to really not make those impulsive snap decisions. While Jupiter often brings optimism and luck, this tense aspect of Mercury being in opposition could amplify the effects of retrograde and make misunderstandings seem like a bigger problem than they already are. So you want to, again, take a breath and be able to communicate clearly instead of making those snap decisions. So good luck, Aries. I know you will get through this when you prepare. So let's jump into Virgo. So Virgo will also be pretty affected by this Mercury retrograde. We're in the middle of Virgo season, when retrograde began. So someone born under this sign of the cosmic maiden, you are sure to feel the astrological intensity, but this is especially true once Mercury moves back into your sign on September 23rd. So the first half of Mercury retrograde movement will hit the financial sector of your birth chart, which could cause money confusion and lead you into maybe thinking like deals that are too good to be true, right? You want to be insightful about how you're spending your money. You might also find that investments that you're looking at right now have some hidden undesirable constraint, and those are up to having nasty surprises. So be careful in your investments as well. And then furthermore, Virgo, relationship dynamics and self-esteem issues could possibly come up around the mid to end of Mercury retrograde. I would say starting around September 25th. And that is when Mercury meets the planet of love, which is Venus, in your sign. So give yourself some space to explore thoughts on romance and truly on your identity and your values, and make sure your heart is aligned with your head during this time. Let's jump into Capricorn. So professional endeavors are a big deal for most people, but this is especially true of a determined and hardworking earth sign like a Capricorn. This retrograde could be different and difficult, because it depends most of its journey in your powerful home of career and public image. So stay alert when it comes to potential communication errors, especially at work, and review emails and meeting notes, meeting invitations, calendar invites before hitting send. So you want to make sure to double, triple check those, Capricorn. And this retrograde will offer you a chance to delve into your belief systems and reconnect with your higher self and aspirations. Right after Mabon, about a week after Mabon on September 27th, both Mercury and value-oriented Venus will form a harmonious trine aspect that is transformative planet Pluto, which is in your sign, actively activating, an intense sense of focus and more deep thoughts. So this is a great time to dig under the surface of maybe previously overlooked problems, Capricorn, and plan some valuable, powerful moves that you can achieve with your goals once Mercury retrograde is over. Sorry, guys, I'm getting over a cold, and so I am drinking more water than normal, which isn't bad, but I have like a dry mouth. So let's jump into Libra. Libra is the sign of my daughter, who was born on September 25th. I don't know why I said 21st. And she'll be 1 on Sunday. So if you are a Libra, like my daughter Juniper, most of the upcoming Mercury retrograde will take place in the Zodiac sign Libra. So be prepared for these exchanges and these miscommunications to feel very personal. You're dealing with issues of self-expression and identity. And so it's a good time to review how you present yourself and how you interact with the world around you. While things may be confusing, there may be a potential moment of clarity when Mercury meets the Sun in Libra on September 23rd, the day that Libra season officially begins. That was my due date last year, and then Juniper was born on September 25th, so I love this season. This is a bright spot in the retrograde cycle for you, and it also marks a turning point in the cosmic journey that could shift your attention more deeply inward, which I know is such a sweet feeling if you're ready for that spiritual journey. If you're not, just take a breath and you'll get through it. So for now, Libra, if you, or from now on, if you use the rest of retrograde to your benefit, you can connect with your intuition. Your subconscious has a lot to share with you right now. Even if those messages seem confusing, you just want to prioritize some time to be alone and immerse yourself in your own thoughts. And then once retrograde clears up, you'll have a better idea of what your soul is trying to say to you. So just kind of a recap from, we're halfway, a little bit more than halfway through Mercury retrograde. from September 23rd to October 2nd, Mercury is in retrograde in Virgo. This will make us hyper-focused on the things that need to be transformed in our lives, right? So all signs will want to analyze your life, your flaws, but be easy on yourself, right? Because with a total of 9 planetary bodies in retrograde motion right now, the September atmosphere, we all just need to take a deep breath. The autumn equinox is arriving in 2 days, so that's September 22nd. This will make just such a special moment happen in our year when day and night are equally as long. It's the official start of autumn. And as the days get shorter from that point on, we truly need to take advantage of the teachings of Virgo season to find true balance in our lives. So, and then from September 22nd, the sun will move into Libra, which will make it necessary to review harmony and balance in our lives. And then we also have a new moon coming up on September 25th, which is Sunday, and that will allow you just to evaluate the past month. I would say that you could evaluate whether, you know, it's a kind of like a romance or love story in your life, as this will be the best time for a profound transformation. So it could even be with a friend. So I hope that you've gotten a lot out of this course tonight or live about Mercury retrograde. If you haven't, go ahead and make your way over to our website and sign up for our newsletter. We will send you witchy goodness straight to your inbox. And if you haven't already, please continue to like and subscribe to our lives. So thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you next week.